Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be doing the initial break-in of the YZ. Before I proceed with the break-in though, we have to do some adjustments to the carburetor. I've got a little bit of a bog at the first quarter of the throttle. So we're going to adjust the carburetor and hopefully fix that. We may have to take the carburetor out and adjust the float. But I'm going to start with the pilot air screw and the idle adjustment and see if we can get it with that. And if not, if I'm out of range, then I'll just go in and do the needle and the float adjustments accordingly. So this will be a little bit of trial and error as I move in here towards getting this thing ready for the first few actual heat cycles. So here we go. Before we get to making any adjustments to the carburetor, I'm going to check coolant, because this cycle it's coolant for the first time, and it's likely that the coolant level dropped, especially if I didn't do a very thorough job of bleeding the coolant system when I initially put in coolant. So we're going to check the coolant level and probably add some coolant here. Alright, so I've got the bike standing up right here, totally straight, or close to totally straight. Then I'm going to take off the radiator cap. And we're totally topped off on coolant right there. So I'm not going to need to put any coolant in there. There's a good chance there could have been a need to put coolant if I couldn't see any coolant there. I should mention it's important not to open this radiator cap after the engine's been run. You probably already know that if you're watching this type of video, but you know, sometimes we can all use a reminder. Okay, this is a Mikuni carburetor, and the pilot air screw is right there. This is the throttle lock position. So we are going to see how many turns out we are right now. 1 or 1.5. So we're going to set that to that 1.5, and then we're going to adjust it while the bike's running. Oh. Golly. There's no fuel left. right, so that fixed the bogging at the low end, that fixed the idle adjustment, and that's about it. So I'm not going to mess with the needle, which would get to the why it might be running a little rich. I'm going to let it warm up a couple of more cycles, and I'm going to run it around today. I don't mind running just a hair rich, especially since it's such a cold day out today. And we can adjust the needle once we've got the motor broken in. It's not going to hurt it to have just a little bit of extra oil in the cylinder. And I suspect that once the motor actually goes through a full warm-up cycle, that it will that it won't be running quite as rich as it is now. So we're going to take this thing out from this point and start doing some honest heat cycles on it and get it moving up and down the road. So that's the next step here, is to actually take it out, do one more main heat cycle of it just warming up, and then start running up and down the road. Here we're going to do a couple of these. I think that the manual calls for at least two. One where I'm running it for 10 minutes and then let it cool, and then a second one where I'm running it for 20 minutes and let it cool, with variable transmission and engine speeds the entire duration of those times. So that's what we're going to do, and I got to get the truck and the ramp and get everything squared away to get this thing out into the woods where I can actually run it. So we're ready to do this is our third engine heat cycle, and on this third one we're actually going to run the bike for about 10 minutes up and down the road. We're not going to be hard on it, we're going to be nice and easy on it, and we're going to take it up and down the road. So I'm going to start out just by firing this up, letting it warm up, getting it back up to operating temperature. Then I'm going to gear up and take it up and down the road, and then maybe Brittany's going to gear up and take it up and down the road a couple of times. So hopefully you can hear us. I know the creak behind the camera is pretty loud, but here we go. Hey Brittany, do you want to try to kick the motorcycle?
Oh yeah, I can.
All right.
Yeah, it seems pretty easy now.
Oh!
Okay.
Are you able to stand on that?
I want to move these leaves.
Okay.
I'm not going to be the person that drops this. Okay, now what?
Okay, so on the left side over here,
yeah,
there's a choke on the carburetor, and there's a fuel on-off switch.
Yeah.
So that's the fuel on-off switch. So turn that on. So
is it
down,
up or down? Okay.
Down. Like that, and the choke is on the carburetor, on the side of the carburetor, and it's a pull up. It's like a plunger pull up.
Okay.
Yep. Pull that up
all the way
till it clicks.
Okay.
Click.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, now let's go over to the other side. You don't have to give it any fuel when you're starting. You don't need to give it any throttle.
I have to pull on the clutch though, right?
No, it's in neutral.
I hate that. Don't trust it. Okay, pull this out.
Turn this kickstart out. Now when you kick this, you want to have your foot out of the way of that foot peg. Kick with your heel,
okay.
not the front of your foot or the middle of your foot, and then point your toe out. Try kicking it down slowly. You'll notice there's break points. So that's where you're going to end. So what you want to do is pass the first break point to get the piston in the right position. Then back up, and then a full kick as hard as you can.
That's a joke, dude. I'm not going to be able to. It's so slippy. I don't like. Okay, can people do it other ways than you tell them to?
What do you mean? With your foot?
Yeah.
You can try, but you're just going to smash your toe into the end of that foot peg.
This is annoying.
You got to give it a little more kick, so that means maybe jump up. Yeah. Get your body involved, get your hips involved.
This is the first time I've ever tried to do this, by the way.
It's fine.
Ever.
It's not easy to do, kicking a full-size dirt bike.
Can I not be on it when I do it?
What do you mean not be on it? Yeah, you can stand above it. It doesn't matter.
My foot is kind of loose in my shoe.
So we don't want you to kick it too much because you're just going to flood it.
Okay, so now what?
Yep, and then if you can, use some of your body momentum to hop up and come down. There you go.
Oh, it just slides.
Okay, so that's the engine firing.
First of all, it just keeps like hitting me in my ankle bone.
The Kickstarter or the peg?
The Kickstarter.
Yeah. It's painful. It sucks a little bit. So the battery for the microphone's going dead now that we're finally out here. So there might be some might be some music assisted video coming on here, or we might take off the microphone and use the onboard mic, so the audio quality might suffer. But just a heads up, the battery for the microphone's going dead. I'm gonna take this off for a little spin here, and we're gonna do the first 10-minute up and down the road. We'll let Brittany take it for a few minutes as well. So I'm gonna get this in before the mic dies. I think I ran out of gas. I'm gonna try again, this time with a little more gas.
That's awesome.
This clutch needs adjusting. It's garbage. Give you a quick rundown. The engine cutoff switch is here, not over here.
It's the
Very
bright
different.
red button. Yeah.
Very different. The clutch feels weird right now.
You mean tight?
No, it's a little harder, stiffer than your bike for sure, but it just feels, the engagement feels weird right now. I tried to adjust it as good as I can, but it's not that great.
What do you mean? It's like out far, or it's in? You have to pull it in really hard.
It disengages like right there.
Really close. Okay.
Yeah, so, but just play with it.
I
It's
hate
kind of
that.
an abrupt engagement. It's not a real gradual range because all the clutch plates are brand new, so it starts gripping as soon as it has a chance to.
Okay.
You've got brand new brake pads and discs, so your brake pads and discs are not
Slippy.
seated
Yeah.
yet, so they aren't used to each other. So if you get the opportunity, do a couple of decent,
Yeah.
moderate slowdowns to start to seat the brakes in. But
Yeah.
also remember, you have no ABS on this thing, so if you hit the brakes hard, you slide no matter what.
Got it.
Plus, your contact patch is just like four
Small.
little tiny square inches of rubber, and these are brand new tires.
Okay.
Other than that, I noticed that when I was turning around, it didn't want to idle, so I was having to hold in the clutch, give it a little tiny bit of throttle,
Okay.
feather the clutch, and turn around. So there's a high probability that you're going to kill it on a turnaround if it doesn't idle well on a turnaround. I would say don't go very far that way, maybe just to that bend and try to turn around, and then go down to where the road splits and it's gravel down there to turn around. Go
Okay.
a little further that way. Once you gain a little bit of confidence, you can go further down towards the bridge if you want. But remember, if it dies on you and you can't get
I have to
it
push it
kick-started, I either have to come find you
Yeah.
or you have to start pushing it, or both.
Yeah.
No more than half throttle. Try not to keep it at the same throttle amount. Try not to bog it out. You know what I mean by bog it? Like in third gear going 2 miles an hour, kind of bogging it, okay?
Okay. See how long I can keep it alive.
No more than half throttle. she's having trouble. She's got the front end in the grass. She's having trouble pulling it out of the grass and back up onto the pavement. And here comes a car from the other direction. She's standing up. She looks so tall. Oh, she's standing up. It'll flip on you. It would just flip over. Or you'd lose traction. It's very light. The thing's running pretty rich.
Up a hill now and I want to go faster and I want dirt because I feel like I'd have so much more traction on dirt.
You would. Yeah, that's right.
And
how does it perform? What do you think?
It's really rattly, like this is really rattly.
Yeah. And
then there's something, and I don't know if it's something is knocking on the right side.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's...
She's my factory rider. Apparently, she's gonna give me all my mechanical feedback.
I don't know. Something's knocking, and I don't know if it's the engine or if it's just like this.
It's that for sure.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then,
it's always rattled.
And I can't tell if it's just that I'm really bad at throttle, so like I'm holding on to this and I'm just barely doing this to it, and because it's when I'm not purposely giving it throttle, it'll randomly rev up.
Yeah, that's you twitching the throttle a little bit.
On accident?
Two strokes are hyper, like, and this has some free play, but not very much.
Yeah.
So you're giving it a little bit of... It's just,
it must be.
The bike in itself is just more sensitive to everything. It's more sensitive to braking. It's more sensitive to throttle. It's more sensitive to turning. It's just more sensitive.
It's so fun.
Yeah?
Like, damn it.
Yeah, it's super fun.
But now I want one.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
You could do one more loop and then I could start packing up the stuff, or we can just pack it up.
I want to know if I could kickstart it.
You can try.
I'm like irritated that I can't do it.
Remember what I taught you.
Ah! My glutes are not strong enough for this.
Yeah.
I can't kick it like I want to.
Yeah.
I'm too much of a pussy. I'm just so afraid I'm gonna slip off of it and drop your bike. Okay, just one more time.
Okay. It takes some practice.
I don't want to flood it.
It takes some practice. Here, I'll kick it and you can take it for another while I get everything packed up. It didn't die on you? Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't come back. Because you can't kick it over.
I know what it sounds like when things are gonna die. I know clutch control.
Anyway, we're gonna call it there. She's taking on its last little loop here, and we're running out of daylight. So we're gonna pack it up. So we're gonna consider that the 10-minute run for it, variable speed up and down the road, variable gears, and we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna start packing up the truck while she goes down this way. And it does that last little loop. And then we're gonna do the 20-minute warm-up at a later time in the same video, but on another day. It'll probably just jump right over to that unless there's some news I wanna share with you after we get back to the house. So let's move forward in time, as we always do. Alright guys, we're back out here. Gonna do a 30-minute run time on the YZ for final step in the break-in, and then we'll be back in the garage. So let's get to it.
One thing I don't like about this bike, transmission feels like it's made of Play-Doh. When I hit different gears, it doesn't give me a satisfying click. And you'll notice I'm giving it a little bit more throttle than I've given it in the past, because this is the final break-in. So we're running through a few gears and treat it like we would if we were actually going to ride it. But then we let it cool all the way. Oh, that sounded like a pop. What was that? Oh, it was a gun. They're shooting guns over there. I need to scoot up on this thing. Been a lot of road traffic because it's hunting season, so I do need to be a little careful. And I'll turn around here. We got to do this for about a half hour to really warm it up. She's in the road. I don't think the transmission is as bad as I was saying. I just think I'm used to street bike transmissions, which are a bit more robust feeling. They offer more feedback. Alright, 20 minutes. I'm gonna do like 3 more loops on the angry bumblebee. And then we're gonna call it broken in. Dirt bike, street, moto vlog, fall time. Bump. Oh, stand up. Oh boy, I'm so tall. Standing up is ridiculous. Oh, this is where we get some gears in. You gotta watch out for this potential people coming in. Ooh. I think that's fifth. Oh, we now go down. Third. It can't be third. That's got to be second. Oh, that was third. That was a short ass third. God damn. First gear is so ornery. That was a shitty corner, or a shitty turnaround. It's starting to get dark. Bird. Bird's trying to murder themselves. Suicide by motorcycle.
Well, that's it. The YZ250 is officially done. I've learned so much through doing this, and I hope you learned a thing or two as well. Thanks for sticking with me through all of these. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know why they didn't record. I guess I gotta shoot it again. Shit.